so much as a warning. Life hangs in the balance. Human endeavor turns to chaos. And within seconds, nothing will ever be the same. Ever. You are front and center for some of the wildest action ever recorded. A stuntman's bold attempt to jump 200 feet ends in a fiery crash. In Portugal, a 5-story, 100-year-old building collapses in a heap of rubble. It's the intersection where catastrophe and chaos meet, and it's called Destroyed in Seconds. Statistics show that Glendale is one of California's most dangerous cities for pedestrians. But nobody thinks they're vulnerable when they're off the street and safely inside. September 22nd, 2009. It's just before 8 a.m. in the morning as customers patronize a bakery shop. Two employees converse at the far end of the store, unaware that a 3,600-pound SUV is barreling directly toward them. Luckily, no one is at the cash register during the moment of impact. The 59-year-old driver is trying to pull into a parking space when she hits the gas instead of the brake. Which is exactly the same scenario that unfolded at the same bakery 5 years earlier. In this 2004 crash, a woman plows her car through the window, pushing over a table and sending two customers sliding through broken glass. The men are nearly run over. Both suffer bruises and cuts, all minor. The 38-year-old driver is also uninjured. Police believe she pressed the gas instead of the brake. After this crash, the bakery owner installs a steel barrier to protect his store from future accidents. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. Neither of the drivers are cited by the police. The store owner is now considering erecting additional barricades. In Lisbon, Portugal, a mysterious form of erosion is eating away at some of the city's oldest structures. This roughly 200-year-old building is one of the casualties. The mortar that holds it together is crumbling. Scientists suspect that sulfate, sodium, and chloride from the ocean air may be causing the mortar to decay. As it breaks down, so do the walls of the 5-story apartment building. Fearing the building could collapse, city officials order a complete evacuation. Tenants grab what they can as the structure continues to weaken. Until... a 5-story curtain of masonry, wood, metal, and glass collapses onto the street. fleeing crowds can't outrun the fast-moving dust cloud, which blacks out the surrounding area and creates panic. Most of the building is reduced to a mountain of rubble. Apartments are ripped wide open. Thankfully, no people are in the building when it falls. But its collapse leaves 21 families displaced and 51 residents living in shelters. The mayor of Lisbon announces plans allowing for the reconstruction of the building so people can return home. City officials are making efforts to shore up Lisbon's older buildings before more lives are endangered by falling structures. Crested Butte, Colorado. It's January 1998, and for the first time, Snowcross is featured in the Winter X Games. Snowcross combines snowmobiling and motocross on an icy half-mile track, filled with sudden dips, treacherous turns, and long jumps. But while one racer is focusing on what lies ahead, his real trouble is coming from behind. It's the semi-final round of the first ever X Games Snowcross competition. The best riders in the world are in Crested Butte, Colorado, to see who will take home the gold medal. To keep these snowmobiles on the icy half-mile track, the machines have 2-inch long spikes on their carbide runners. But these spikes are no guarantee against crashing. Previous round winner Jason Jones is deep in the pack when his quest for gold takes a bad turn. As Jason rounds a corner, he and another rider briefly cross skis. This causes Jason to lose the speed he needs to complete an upcoming jump. His landing is so short, he's unable to clear the area for Dave Brown, the racer behind him. 425 pounds of snowmobile land directly on top of Jason, knocking both riders off their sleds. Dave falls into soft snow and avoids injury. But Jason isn't so lucky. The spikes on Dave's treads rip into his left arm and carve a gash that severs a muscle. The impact also crushes Jason's sternum and dislocates his shoulder. While severe sternum injuries often require months of limited movement to heal properly, Jason undergoes an aggressive physical therapy program and is back riding his snowmobile 3 weeks later. They arrive without warning and devastate all that stands in their way. When heavy rains fall too quickly to be absorbed into the already saturated ground, flash floods are the catastrophic result. This ancient riverfront town in the south of France has weathered centuries of violent storms. But on September 22nd, 1992, a total of 5 rainstorms converged to unleash one violent deluge. Nearly 12 inches of rain fall in 3 hours, causing the Uvez River to overflow its banks. A massive flash flood courses through the town, its current moving at over 250,000 gallons per second. Vehicles swept away by 10-foot floodwaters are soon obliterated. Trees are uprooted, and century-old buildings crumble. This 2,000-year-old Roman bridge and adjacent homes are nearly submerged by the violent and unstoppable river. Over the next 24 hours, the debris-filled torrent rips through the town, sparing nothing in its path. By day's end, nearly 8 square miles are declared a national disaster area. Estimates of property damage reach $1.5 billion, making this the worst flood to strike this town in over 350 years. Take a typical street bike, extend the rear wheel, wrap tire chains around it, add spectators, and one very steep, very dirty incline, and you've got hill climb. Hell yeah! At the Jefferson, Maryland Moto Hill Climb, riders try to ascend the 260-foot high slope in the fastest time possible. The goal may sound simple, but achieving it on a steep course peppered with ruts and rocks isn't. At today's competition, rider David Price hopes his modified Harley XR 750 will rocket him high up Jefferson Hill in record time. But it ends up rocketing him far higher than he ever imagined. Jefferson, Maryland. 20 riders compete in the 2008 Jefferson Hill Motocross Hill Climb. The competitor with the best time out of 3 runs wins, but just reaching the top of the hill comes with its own set of challenges. David Price is in position for his final run of the day. The exhaust fumes from the 90% nitromethane fuel are so toxic, drivers have to be fanned while they idle. David easily takes the first 2/3 of the hill. But as he nears the top, he gets a surprise bird's eye view of the finish line. Less than 10 feet from the finish line, David's rear tire skids out on a piece of concrete that was exposed by previous riders. His rear tire explodes, and he's sent hurtling over the handlebars and 20 feet in the air. He lands hard on the dirt. Fearing he's been seriously injured, race officials try to keep David still.
Get the ambulance here, call for him. Oh, we got this. Call for him. Just lay there, get the ambulance. Lay down. You get the ambulance, somebody better call for it if they didn't. Sucker was 20 feet in the air.
But just moments later, he's up on his feet.
You're okay?
Yeah.
You're gonna be crazy, you better be tough.
Yes.
Wait till you see the video of that.
David suffers only a cracked rib from this high-flying crash. As for his Harley, the back tire and rim are damaged beyond repair.
3, 2, 1.
It's ranked by Forbes magazine as one of the world's most dangerous sports. Base jumping is skydiving off a fixed object rather than out of an aircraft. A university study found the extreme sport can be up to 8 times more dangerous than jumping out of an airplane. The shorter fall leaves little room for error. For the past 4 years, a 37-story hotel in Oslo, Norway, has hosted a base jumping event. 25 jumpers gather outside of what is the tallest building in Norway. The 6th person to leap is a 31-year-old veteran of more than 70 base jumps. At first, the 384-foot jump goes as planned. But moments later, his chute snags on a light pole. And he crashes 18 feet to the ground. Before impact, he desperately tries to steer his chute, but it's too late. He's briefly treated at the scene, then rushed to the hospital with serious head and chest injuries. The base jumper blames a sudden gust of wind and bad luck for the first serious accident in the event's 4-year history. Fortunately, he survives and goes on to jump again. Yeehaw! But it won't be here, because after this accident, the hotel cancels the yearly event. Every July, some of the world's greatest daredevils gather to celebrate the legacy of Evel Knievel. Top billing goes to stuntman Spanky Spangler. In his 50-year career, he's done everything from the James Bond corkscrew and the domino bus hit to the falling star. Today, Spanky will attempt to break one of his own 22 world records by jumping ramp to ramp 200 feet in a 1984 Olds Cutlass. Today's leap could be his finest moment, or his last hurrah. It's the Evel Knievel Days Festival in Butte, Montana. For over half a century, Spanky Spangler has jumped, driven, and crashed his way to stuntman glory. Today, Spanky plans to catch 200 feet of air and set a new world record. His crew has constructed a 12-foot-high wooden ramp. Now, they hope that all the angles and distances have been correctly calculated.
And here he comes! He's on his approach! He's up! Unbelievable impact! He came up short!
In his approach, Spanky tries to get the Cutlass up to 75 miles per hour. But a sudden upcurve as the car moves from dirt to wood causes the vehicle's undercarriage to scrape both in front and in back. The bounce propels the nearly 2-ton vehicle into the air before the ramp's end, causing it to fall short of the landing ramp.
Oh my God! An unbelievable impact! He came up short!
It's the worst crash in Spanky's career.
Oh my God! Safety personnel at green only! Stay back! Stay in place! It's only crew and emergency personnel! Fire extinguishers, please!
Rescue crews rush to put out the fire and extricate the stuntman.
You know the play at this point? Oh my God!
After 11 minutes, Spanky is pulled from the wreckage and placed on a gurney. Then, the stuntman surprises everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we are called heroes. God bless you guys.
Spanky is later released from the hospital with a slight concussion. His $4,000 car is a total loss. A rocket called the Juno 2 blasts off from Cape Canaveral, Florida. But its payload will never reach orbit. In 1959, the space race is in full swing. The United States has been trying to catch up ever since the Soviets launched the world's first satellite, Sputnik 1. At Cape Canaveral, Florida, the U.S. develops this 4-stage rocket called Juno. scientists prepare to launch the rocket with the Explorer S-1 satellite as its payload. Five and a half seconds after liftoff, the rocket pitches over, and the range safety officer issues a command to self-destruct. The crippled Juno slams into the ground just 250 feet from the launch pad. Fortunately, there are no injuries. A short in the power supply to the rocket's guidance system caused it to veer off course. Despite this setback, the Juno rocket leads directly to the development of the Saturn rockets that safely fly men to the moon. I'm Ron Pitts. See you next time on Destroyed in Seconds.